Welcome back to the channel, and today I wanted to show you what you could expect from Cathay Pacific's business class on their A330-300. Please follow me on Instagram at BrandonJohnson10K for behind the scenes looks at content that I will be reviewing in the future. So this is the business class on the A330 on Cathay Pacific, and if you'll notice it's exactly the same as business class on the, well, not exactly, but very close to similar as their business class on the A350 that I did review. This cabin is going to be a little bit more narrow, and it's not as large of a business cabin as on the A350. There you'll see the difference here in the seat as we take a look in the seat. So here is the seat. So out at the seat you did have a pillow there. A blanket was available, but on request, and it's not the same blanket as the long haul blanket, so it is inferior blanket there. Here as we look down, and you'll see the age on this seat there. You've got the safety card there. Here you do have the armrest that does go up. You notice this one doesn't have the cup holder like on the A350 seat. TV does pop out just like the A350, but the screen isn't nearly as crisp and not as responsive to touch either. Footwell's a little bit more narrow on this aircraft there. As you see, a little place for the storage, so there's less storage space in that pocket down to the right. Again, not a lot of storage space to begin with at the seat, but still it is less than on the A350. Tray table comes out like this. And you'll just see some of the quirks of the older seat, especially on the seat recline, which I'll show you in a minute. So here, you'll notice it's kind of an abbreviated closet here. You do have headphones in there. The jack is in there for the headphones. So as we come out here, you've got a light, in-flight entertainment, remote, and the seat controls. Unfortunately, this window, this is seat 18K, so keep that in mind. The window is quite a bit of ways in front of you, so it does make it harder to look out of. No individual air vents on this aircraft either. There's a look at the power source. And that's right below the seat controls, which I didn't show you at first. So let's take a look at the seat controls now. This one's not smooth by any means, so you're going to have to keep pushing that button to get this seat in the lie flat position. Unfortunately, kind of a pain, but again, it shows the age of this seat. But once in the lie flat position, it's a fairly comfortable seat. Again, I feel like it's a little more narrow actually than the video suggests. Definitely prefer the A350 seat on Cathay Pacific versus this seat any day. But again, this was CX-777 from Hong Kong to Jakarta. There's a look at the bedding there, and that's what I mean. The blanket, yeah, it's not as significant or comfortable as the blanket, the long haul blanket there. So they did have hot towel service, and a pre-departure beverage of water or orange juice was offered. So I'm gonna leave you with the takeoff, and I'll be back with more on the flight. welcome back. Let's take a look at the bathroom here. And the bathroom on the A330. Get nothing special about it at all. It's kind of got this weird kind of sea foam green color to it, but here you won't have a window there. So just the bare necessities there for the bathroom. So the meal service, now this was a breakfast flight. So I'm gonna let you take a look at the menu and what's offered, and I'll be back with what I actually had. Okay, so let's take a look at what I had there. So we got some fresh fruit. They did have croissants coming around. There's some butter. Unfortunately, they were out of the dim sum. Unfortunately, that's what I was really looking forward to have here. But I ended up having braised e-fu noodles with prawn and fish and oyster sauce. Very good dish there. That was the Hong Kong milk tea. So that was a nice treat there. So there's the braised fu noodles. Again, very tasty dish there. So here's the Wi-Fi option. So you've got an option for a 1 hour pass and a full flight option there. So $9.95 and $12.95 respectively for those. And then the in-flight entertainment screen. I kind of mentioned before that the screen is not nearly as crisp as the A350 screen. It definitely shows its age. Not as vibrant either as far as the picture goes, but yeah, I'll leave you with that to look through the in-flight entertainment options, and I'll be back with my final thoughts. Welcome back. So I wanted to share my final thoughts on this flight. First off, the crew was much better than my other Cathay Pacific flight. Flight attendants were proactive and the meal service was done efficiently. Yeah, it didn't take over 2 hours. Now, I know there weren't as many courses in this meal involved, but still, it was much better than my first experience on Cathay Pacific's business class. So some things to note: seat 18K. Again, the window's a bit ahead of you, so it's not as easy to look out of the window. Also, the in-flight entertainment screen isn't very sharp to touch, so it's honestly better to use the remote, which I don't really prefer doing, but in this case, yes, it's better to use the remote. Also, the seat, getting the seat in lie flat position can be a task. You've got to kind of lean back and hit the button at the same time to really get it to go in the lie flat position. But other than that, pretty good flight from Hong Kong to Jakarta on Cathay Pacific's business class on their A330. And so that was my experience with it. As always, I do appreciate you watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and share this with a friend. Thank you.